Start.
Hi friends, Ram Navratna here. Welcome to HR Resonance channel. You are all aware in India now in the field of HR and labor. New laws have come, they are called labor codes. 4 codes have emerged and they are going to take effect probably by April 2021. What are all these labor codes? Lot of discussion is going on employers front as well as unions also. Recently we have seen national unions, they protested against these labor codes stating it is a retrogressive step. So in this background I am here and presenting you what are all the benefits and advantages to the employees. In my subsequent slide I am going to present one by one what are all these. Now, let us see the benefits and advantages for employees in labor codes. Anyway, all these labor codes have given lot of hopes. At the same time, for some people, they have given upsets also. Do you want to know what are all the benefits? I think most of us, all these days, we are hearing what are all the benefits for the employer, what are all the impacts, what are all the new things that are going to happen, new perspectives we are hearing. My dear friends, now do you want to hear or do you want to know what are all the benefits in labor codes? So let me try to provide you inputs on these aspects. Number one, so far the minimum wage was different in different states. As such, there were so many innumerable rates in India. Now with this code, universalization of right of minimum wages and also the timely payment to all workers, including not only the regular, even for the unorganized workers, it has been made and going to be implemented. So far, before these codes, minimum wages applicable to only 30% of workers. Now by extending to organized and unorganized workers, that is one good move, they are also going to get the benefit. Another important thing in our country, for quite long we were all talking about floor wage or national floor wage was talked, but it was not implemented. Now the government is proposing to fix a national floor wage, going to introduce, and that may reduce regional disparity in minimum wages. How national wage will be there, how the national minimum wage will be there, whether it is national, whether it is regional, we have to wait and see for all that. But anyway, now by one national floor wage, it is one of the benefit, a lot of clarity will be there. Then fixation of the minimum wage is also simplified, leading to less number of rates of minimum wages and better compliance. Already in the cow rules, okay, specification and various designations have been already notified. I think this should help. Then next one is the promote formalization in the employment is made. That is why now it is made appointment letter for all workers is now mandatory. So this is really good, so that in organized and in unorganized workers, everybody is going to get a appointment letter. So thereby terms and conditions will be known, so that both parties can really enjoy the benefit and they can have. Another important, really remarkable and really good aspect is annual health checkup for employees. Anyway, it is a free annual checkup for the employees. It is really good. One advantage is everybody know the status of their health, number one. Number two, in case of any health problem, okay, so that it can be detected well in advance and necessary corrective action can be taken. Next, another benefit is occupational safety and health code. It is applicable to the establishments engaged in work of hazardous nature, even with a threshold of less than 10 workers. I think this is a dire need and this is really a good welfare measure. Even the smaller employer, no, he can get covered and the employees will be benefited because they are more exposed for this being a hazardous industry. Then one more good thing, we were talking about migrant labor workers, but Act was not strictly implemented, and the effect of that we have seen during the COVID period. Now, the definition of interstate migrant workers modified to include migrant workers employed directly by the employer, workers directly coming to destination state of their own, besides the migrant workers employed through a contractor. So this is one clarity is there, that is a really good. Therefore, all the employers should know about this, and employees also. Of course, in this, one cap on wages of 18,000 per month and below is stipulated. Another advantage for migrant labor is portability of welfare benefits for migrant workers, so that wherever they are, even if they go to their place or even they come back to the workplace, so this portability facility should extend and protect their benefits. Particularly in the ration is proposed, food grains, I think all those are going to be helped. Journey allowance, of course, though it is not a new, earlier in the Interstate Migrant Workmen Act, it was there, but it was not strictly enforced. I think now it looks like they are going to enforce very strictly. Therefore, journey allowance also they are all going to get the migrant workers. And benefit of public distribution system because of the portability system, it is already mentioned. Next one is extension of ESI coverage pan-India to all districts and all establishments with a threshold of 10 or more as against those in notified and district areas. Earlier, ESI was available, or employees would have got the benefit only in notified or covered areas. So now it has been extended to all the districts, so that everybody will get the ESI benefit. Another advantage based on the COVID experience, toll-free helpline is introduced. The code makes provision for the appropriate government to provide facility of toll-free helpline to the interstate migrant workers. I think they should all make use of that, so that their tyranny will be reduced. Another benefit is extension of ESI coverage to employees working in establishments with less than 10 employees on voluntary basis. So this is another advantage. This voluntary coverage is also made. In fact, in many of the seminars and my training programs, even the employers asked me, "Sir, can we get covered under ESI? Can we get coverage for all our employees?" Who they used to ask. So now I think this provision should really help, and maximum benefit employees can gain, and also the benefit to the employer. Then mandatory ESI coverage through notification by the central government for employees in hazardous industries with less than 10 employees. Though there is a voluntary coverage, government can make a mandatory ESI coverage by notification, so that employees can get the benefit out of this. And another greatest advantage and new thing what we see here is social security schemes for gig workers and platform workers. It is said, Anatho Deva Rakshakaha. So all these people earlier, they were orphans, and their social security was at the back chair. Now with this thing, they are also going to be covered, so that they can gain the benefit. Great advantage for the labor force. In the retrenchment chapter, another new clause was introduced, that is a reskilling fund for retrenched employees. That is one of the good things. Whenever an employee is retrenched, the employer is supposed to pay some percentage and keep for reskilling fund for the benefit of the worker. How it is going to work, what is the mode, yet we have to wait and see. But anyway, it's a good move as far as the employees' welfare is concerned. And in earlier, before this code, in case of retrenchment, if at all an employer intend to start the operations, the clause was he was supposed to provide preference to the retrenched employees. So now that has been taken out, but re-employment of within period of 1 year. Now time restriction is put up in this. So this is what we employees have to know, and the employer should be also be aware. Next one is all operations opened for women and permitted to work at night with sufficient safeguards. So far, in many of the, particularly in pharma, chemical industries, hazardous industries, there are a lot of restrictions for the women, including a night shift. Now, this code has opened for the women, of course, while keeping their safety as a paramount importance in their mind. Another new clause is introduced as far as the overtime is concerned. Earlier, overtime was as usual, left and right or without any restrictions. Now, if at all, employee has to go for the overtime work or employer intends to engage employees for overtime, prior consent is required. That is one of the mandatory thing. One way it is all good. And now women can also work during the night shift, that is before 6 a.m. and beyond 7 p.m. Of course, with the safeguards. In some of the states like Tamil Nadu and in some of the states already night shift was there. But now it has been made uniform. Another best thing and a good measure what I can see is adequate proportion of total women workers in the matter of representation. In Industrial Relations Code, earlier it was as far as possible in respect of women. Now adequate proportion of total women workers is introduced. So that way, because women are entering more and more into the employment, as such, for their representation is properly given. That is good move as far as the female employees are concerned. Next one is provisions for Social Security Fund for unorganized workers. This earlier it was not thought. So what is the funding for them? How it is are going to be managed? So therefore, provision for Social Security Fund is thought of for unorganized workers. For that, rules are going to come. It is going to be there. So that way, unorganized workers are also protected. In the coming days, they can look forward for their benefit and protection. Now, as far as gratuity is concerned, there is a good move. Under the Gratuity Act, to get a person or to get the eligibility of a gratuity, person has to work for 5 years in a normal conditions. Now here, new clause, of course I don't say new clause, it is already there in the Industrial Dispute Act. But now it is called fixed term employment, which is introduced in IR code as well as also in the standing order, wherein in fixed term of the employee, as per the terms of the employment, whether it is 2 years, whether it is 3 years, 4 years, depending on the nature. So when a cessation of the employment will be there, as far as the fixed term employment is concerned, the person is eligible for the gratuity. So that is good move. I think that way in the modern days it is good, because lot of newcomers, rather youngsters, what we say, they don't want to work for long or lifetime like earlier days. For them, it is really good, project-based or market-based or demand-based. So one of the good thing an employer from the employee point of view. But in a Gratuity Act, while for all other stakeholders, though eligibility period is 5 years, but as far as the working journalist concerned, their eligibility is made 3 years. So this is working journalists have to know, that is a good advantage for them. And the clause in 2010 Industrial Dispute Act was amended, and there was an introduction of Grievance Redressal Committee. Now in this new code, the scope of GRC has been widened with the equal representation of workers or union representatives, and also with the employer. And further it is stated, as far as the employer's representative is concerned, as far as possible, divisional heads or head of the department should be the representatives, so that employees' problems can be addressed properly, can be understood, so that resolving becomes easy. So that way it is one of the realistic approach, I can say. And another important aspect in this GRC is for resolving the grievances, time limit of about 30 days is set. That is really good move, so that it cannot be prolonged, and worker, employee can get relief, and he should be clear about that. And also the responsibility of the Grievance Redressal Committee is to resolve quickly. Then another important aspect in this, when that grievance is discussed or gone into the details, ultimate decision or resolving should be based on majority view. Again, in that majority view, workers' majority view is also taken into the note. That way it is really good. I say it is the employee's fault, and he should look at this as a very good measure. Further, in case, in spite of all this thing, if employee's grievance is not resolved or he is not happy about that, further availing conciliation process is also there after a certain time and all that. That avenue is open for the employees. Friends, I think with this, the employee should maximum avail and make use of GRC benefit. The employers also should be proactive and try to resolve all these issues in that time framework in GRC, so that industrial relations situations and employee satisfaction can go in the long run. The another new change what we can see in this code is annual leave threshold of working days made 180 days from 240 days. Earlier, in any preceding year, an employee to get a leave 240 days working was mandatory. Now it has been made to 180 days. It is really good benefit for the employee, so that I can look it as a welfare and eligibility criteria is relaxed. The employee should be aware about this one. Another good advantage for the employees as well as the employer, what I can say, particularly the employees, they can know who is my proper union, who is my recognized union, to whom I can go. Now, which is my right union, where management can really consider the union. So earlier there was no clarity or law about recognition of the union. Now in this new code, clarity about their recognition, and also the negotiating council is also formed. All the employees should know about this one. Accordingly, they can explore the possibilities, becoming the member, okay, for their benefit, while dealing with the employer in an amicable way. Another, I have already told you, as far as the overtime is concerned. Now, if at all employer intend to engage the employees for the overtime, prior consent is required. And as far as the Employees Compensation Act is concerned, in addition to the compensation, share in the penalty is also proposed. This is really in favor of employees. This is one of the good measure. In ESI, one more good thing, as it is ESI is very good in my opinion and experience. But one more benefit I can see here is ESI benefits, even if the establishment delays or defaults the contributions payment. In present system, if there is a default or delay in payment of the contribution, the employee would have been deprived of his benefits in ESI. Now in this new code, the employee is going to get the benefit and he can avail all that benefit. In turn, ESI corporation, okay, with the employer, they can recover in appropriate manner along with the interest and This is what the new move is there. Thereby, the employee should be very happy about this one. Then also another welfare measure, what I can see, of course, cost to the employer. But considering the workers, it is really very good. Threshold limit reduced for the more coverage of workers to get the welfare facilities like restroom, lunchroom, canteen. This is really a welfare measure. So now the workers, even if there are 100 and below, they are going to get a restroom and a lunchroom. Canteen also, even if they are less than 100, less than 250 also, they are all going to get the canteen. So this is really good move. So that nowadays structure of organizations have been changed, employees number has been changed. That way it is really good measure for the employees welfare point of view, though it little cost to the employer, statutory obligation on the part of the employer. One more important thing, and I can say it is a proactive and good IR measure or successful IR measure. What I can see is suspension pending inquiry time stipulated and not prolonged. Earlier, it used to prolong whenever person is kept under suspension. There were no any regulation as far as the time is concerned. Now it is made mandate and stipulated within 90 days, all the reasonably it should be resolved and inquiry should be completed. This is really good move for the good industrial relations point of view. Then another important thing which is really good, earlier we used to call as a labor laws, and the laborers were more protected. So now to avoid that one or to enlarge, considering the time and change in the events, introduction of employee definition covering supervisors, managers, administrative, technical, clerical, thus provided extension of the benefits of the law hitherto which was not existing. So thereby the employer definition has come. In other words, these codes benefits are available to everybody, not only to the workman. So that is one of the important takeaway as far as from this code is concerned. Another landmark or a good thing for the coverage, home-based and self-employed will have a social security coverage which is a new. So it means, look, now everybody is covering. Earlier we used to hear only about 7% organized laborers are getting the benefits of labor laws, whereas about 92 to 93% they were all unorganized. For them there was no any protection or their life was difficult, we used to say. Now because of the modern days, virtual or because of the electronics media, home-based are increasing. Self-employed is also a lot of new startup, new generation, they want to be on their own. For all of them, social security coverage is thought of and measures are going to take it. Still government has to work on all that, but already some guidelines have been laid down and guidelines are going to come, and that is really a good move so that they are protected. Now coming to the sales promotion employees, earlier we used to talk only of a pharma industry, marketing industries. Now applicability extended beyond pharma and the notified industry to any sales promotion employees. I think this is also very good. Of course, wage cap they have kept that, but as far as the coverage and benefits are concerned, this is really a good move. I can say it is for the employees. Then today we are all, as I said, in the new era. Everything is online, audio, electronics media, we are all talking. So therefore audio visual workers have been also taken into the consideration. The term has been introduced in this. The code specifies that the agreement with an audio visual worker must contain. So everything they have regarding provisions relating to the health, working conditions, safety, hours of work and welfare facilities. In other words, audio visual workers, since their number is increasing now, that is all the era, their service conditions are going to be regulated. For that, foundation has been laid down. This is also in terms of benefits good for the working force. The same way, BD and cigar workers have been also taken into the considerations. For them also, social security is thought of. Well, friends, so these are all various either old or with some changes, new measures that have been introduced in the new code, wherein larger number of employees, better number of employees are covered, so that thereby their care, welfare and safety is taken into the consideration. One more point to add, many of the trade unions or employees organizations, they are unhappy about this code. The reason being, the employer has got a right to open or close the organization. Earlier there was a limitation of only 100 and 300. Now that 100 has been taken till 299. It means prior permission by the government is not required. So this they are all not happy. But in my view, though that is there for the flexibility of the industries based on the demand, supply, market conditions, etc. But when we see various these benefits, employees' benefits have been extended in that. So therefore responsibility cast on the employer to take care in that. I think that minus point from the employee's point of view has been taken into consideration, plus point in this way. I think, friends, these are all various benefits to the employees. I am sure definitely these points you are liking and make use of that in a due course. Of course, the rules, regulations are going to come for that. If there are any problems, lot of discussions are going to take place. Amendments at appropriate times are going to come. then ultimately, everybody is going to be get benefited. Larger number of labor and employees are going to be protected, covered, so that they can lead a happy and a contented life as far as possible. Well, friends, this is what my presentation as far as employees and workers benefits in labor codes are concerned. If you need any of the details or any of the training program on any of these topics, including other topics, you can visit our website, and also you can write your comments in the comment box of this video. Well, friends, thank you very much for your patient listening and viewing. And if you are liking, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Wait for my next useful video on the topic. Till then, thank you very much. Good day.